The next toy that I got is another Transformer, and I believe this is the last Transformer that I got. It is G2 Megatron, and that is sort of tank mode Megatron. And he's in really good condition, but I'm not too sure how to transform him, so I'm just going to leave him as is for now. Then I believe the last toy per se that I got is this Flame Swordsman toy, and I believe he was around $5 to $10, somewhere in that range. And he has an action feature where he lifts up his arm and swipes his sword upward. And it was nice that he came with his sword accessory as well. But at this booth I saw they had a couple of him, all in various conditions, but this one was the one in the best of shape. Next up is something that I wasn't really expecting to see, but then again I didn't really have much expectations. You're better off just going in and just being surprised by all the things that you see. This one booth was selling a bunch of these. It is the freeloader for GameCube, so this is a disc that lets you play games from any region for the GameCube and the Wii, and they were only asking $20 for this, and it's brand new. And from my understanding at least, it sells for a lot more than that online. If I am wrong about that, please correct me in the comment section below. But again, this is $20 Canadian, and I have seen that it is cheaper in the US, but the shipping is ridiculous. At the same booth, I also saw that they had some Japanese Pokemon cards, and they had the 20th anniversary set. I got a pack, but I opened this already. And the most interesting card that I got in here was a holographic Poliwrath, and that's him right there. And what I didn't know for the longest time was that Pokemon cards in Japan have a different back to them, and they just look really, really weird in my opinion. Moving on to the video games that I got a couple of Super Nintendo games, and I got one NES game as well, and I paid $20 for the Super Nintendo games and $10 for the NES game. The Super Nintendo games that I got from a store called The Collective. It's located on Spadina, downtown Toronto, but I forget the exact address of it right now. I got these 4 Super Nintendo games, nothing too exciting, except for one of these was pretty interesting to me. I got a copy of Zoop. Next one is Dirt Tracks FX, and I got that just because it's one of the FX chip games, so I want to add that to my collection. I got a copy of Battle Clash, which I believe uses a Super Scope, but the cartridge was in pretty good condition. I might just use that to swap out another game. And then the game that I was the most interested in was Eek the Cat. As for the NES game that I got, this one is not a heavy hitter, but it is pretty uncommon. It is Vice Project Doom, and from my understanding, this is like about a $40 to $50 game, so I was really happy to get it for as cheap as I did, and it came with a sleeve as well. Now, the guy had a bunch of NES games. He didn't have them on display or anything. It was just in a box on the ground, sitting next to him, like right at the front of his booth, and he had some crazy prices on some of his games, and then other ones he wanted like $5 for them. So it was whatever. That was the best one that I was able to get away with. As for the rest of the games, he had a copy of Super Mario World, but he wanted like $30 for it. I'm like, that's not going to happen. Now, from the same booth where I got the freeloader and the pack of Pokemon cards from, I also got this small N64 cartridge keychain. It looked pretty interesting, and it was made by an artist that was there at the booth as well, and I was like, okay, sure, fine, I'll grab it. It was $8 for this, so not too bad, but it is fairly decent for what it is, and they had ones for a whole bunch of different games, even some modeled after Super Nintendo cartridges, and I think some Game Boy cartridges as well, but I ended up getting one that had Smash Bros on it. Now, getting back to the Cards Against Humanity stuff, I bought a couple of the expansion packs that they had there. They had the red box, green box, and blue box, I didn't end up buying any of those because I couldn't remember which expansions I had already. I got these two smaller packs that they were charging just $7 each for. I don't know how many cards it comes with, but that's the size of the deck there. This first pack here was called the Period Pack, and it's called that because it came wrapped in that, which is going to go into the trash. And it came with a heart-shaped chocolate as well, which I thought was just hilarious. And the other pack that I got is the College Pack, which came with the weirdest little extra in there. It is this large poster that says Kiss 2017 on it, and I'm just going to leave it at that because it is a poster of people kissing, and I'm not about to show that right now.